We've been together for over 10 years now. Building a tiny house has been one of our goals as a couple, and we made it happen.
I'm a handyman at heart, so I love building stuff. I'm an electronic engineer as well. I work with a company that does home automation and smart home design. She was the brain behind the design of this house, and I was a tech behind this whole thing.
I love to geek out on design, so I feel like this project allowed me to have that creative ability to just like test and try things. I also love the concept of maximizing a small space. So being from like New York City, I've always lived in small apartments. So this was just like a really fun challenge to be able to build the actual walls that I get to choose, as opposed to just like, you know, my landlord telling me like what I can and cannot do.
Hello, I'm Sal.
And I'm Michelle, and this is our DIY tiny house in Portland, Oregon. We built this tiny house with the help of my dad in his driveway, and the trailer dimensions are
28 feet by 8.5, and it took us about 1.5 years to build.
So I love this space because it is filled with nature. It is temporary though, so the plan is to move it to our own property, which we're in the middle of hunting for. Let's go inside.
Welcome to our tiny house.
It's about 400 square feet, including both of the lofts. The inspiration behind the design of the house was definitely more Scandi modern vibes with a really big kitchen. The kitchen is very important to me, so I would say we built this house around the kitchen and just let things fall as they came.
We're here in the living room, and the first thing I want to tell you about is the home automation system. This house is fully automated to accommodate our lifestyle, from shade control to lighting control and for health and wellness. A lot of planning happened behind the scenes, pre-fabrication of the walls. All the shades have their own cables inside the walls. All the light switches are wireless and talking to one main system. And in every room there's a sensor that when you do walk in, it turns on the lights or it activates a shade. The house is so automated that even our coffee machine is smart, and I could tell it to make my coffee from my bed in the morning. We have a large touch screen at the beginning of the entrance, but we also have a small touch screen in our bedroom that at night I'm able to control the house as well without moving around the house. And the house does learn your lifestyle and reacts to it. So be it the sun's coming from the right side, the shade will automatically come down to protect the house and maintain the temperature.
And we definitely didn't skimp out on the kitchen. The kitchen was really important to me to feel like it was a full-size kitchen. So we have this 6-burner stove where I make a ton of things like candy, for example. So it's really important to have multiple burners when you're making candy, which is why we needed to go extra large. This is really cool too, because if you notice, we don't have an exhaust. So it actually exhausts downwards to the bottom of our trailer. So as I'm like burning sugar here, you don't really smell anything. My dream to have a candy business is right around the corner. I am constantly making candy and sending samples to my friends and family. Just like our appliances, I didn't skimp out on our cabinetry either, where we can store a ton of stuff in these nice little hidden drawers. This was not easy to do, so it's kind of a mix between IKEA and some custom cabinet faces. We also have this corner caddy, which I feel like is absolutely necessary in any small space because you can get to all of those hard to reach places. Another cool concept with this kitchen design is that we have this really, really big deep space. It's not practical when you think of it, but the reason for it is practical. This is where our garage is, but you access the garage from the outside. It's awesome because it just creates this sense of space without actually having space. So I feel like I'm in a huge kitchen. One of the biggest priorities was our coffee machine. We're obsessed with coffee, another big reason why we love Portland, Oregon. But not only do we have one little espresso machine back in the corner and our foam maker, but we have this built-in coffee machine that kicks it up a notch. So we can make cappuccinos, lattes, regular black coffee, whatever you want. It's basically like our own personal barista. And what's extra cool is this is the one that turns on whenever we're laying in bed, and the smart home automation gets it started for us. This is actually a propane oven. So is our stovetop. Why that's important is because we wanted the capability to be off-grid in the future, but we're currently on-grid today. However, having a propane oven is quite unique. This was really hard to source. Right now, it's just kind of acting like a candy storage. I have some candy curing in there, but when I get really serious with my baking, we use this.
What's better than enjoying a little chill me time after work? Playing my new favorite mobile game. I'm talking about the free to download Sunshine Island that combines the cozy nostalgia of a classic farming game with a fresh tropical twist. Build and customize your own island town. Place buildings, manage production chain, and harvest crops to grow from a small village into a thriving community. Enjoy not just one island, but many exotic locales. Each new island you unlock brings a unique setting with different looks, buildings, and characters to discover. Get social by joining a team, a fun opportunity to chat, help each other, and work on group goals together. I've had a great time connecting with others while playing. I hope you'll join me soon. Download Sunshine Island for free via the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Use our exclusive code TINY25 in the settings menu to get your welcome gift, 250 gems plus 100,000 coins to help you get started. See you out there.
Next is our vintage retro fridge. I love this guy because it just brings a nice little design element to a kind of neutral kitchen. What's also really cool is the sizing. This one I was able to find that came in 5-inch increments, but it comes with the refrigerator on top and it holds a pretty decent amount of space. So next to the fridge, we have our pantry. The cabinet front is still being made. So this is just a basic IKEA cabinet front, but it's going to match the rest of the kitchen. And once that does come, we're going to end up painting the kitchen a fun little butter yellow, very similar to my hat, just to bring more candy fun vibes into this kitchen. And this pantry was pre-planned before the build even started. I went food shopping and I bought everything I can think of that I need to cook a really good meal and measured it all out and decided on this as the size of our pantry. And it holds a ton of space. We also have a hidden spice drawer. And this is really helpful because I can just see everything all in one shot instead of having to dig through that pantry. The bottom part is intentional. We left it open so we can hide all of the messy brooms and ugly cleaning supplies. And once I'm cooking an amazing meal with all of my ingredients, we eat on this rolling table. It rolls out and we put it right in front of the couch. We also double the function, as IKEA likes to do. We use the bottom part as our recycling. And also, it can double as extra counter space because this guy pops up and creates all of that space that we might need. I love the idea of like the independence of having a house on wheels, so that's what sold me. But then being able to creatively design something really unique to my lifestyle was really what made me want to do it. And then my dad is an ex-contractor, which made things a little easier for me to actually concept the idea. So I've had these blueprints in mind for like over 5 years, but we both made the decision to choose the blueprint that we ended up deciding on. But I would say I definitely pitched it to him and he was just all on board.
I think it was based on us love traveling, and we didn't want this big house and a lot of the maintenance, so going to a smaller house, and especially like she mentioned, moving it around, the flexibility of living anywhere.
We're both from New Jersey, New York area, so we're from the East Coast, but my dad lives in Portland, which is where we built the tiny house. So we had the opportunity to come out here. Both of our jobs are remote now. I'm in marketing.
I'm in marketing as well, but in regards to technical side, trade shows and events.
So this is Granola. She is our 9-year-old French bulldog who's very sturdy. We've had her ever since she was 6 months old. We rescued her from a backyard breeder in New Jersey. So she was not as cute as she is now. She travels everywhere with us. She comes to my office every single time I go to work. She has done some modeling of pet accessories in her day. So she loves the camera, but she also loves to sleep, as you
She
can
has
tell.
many nicknames. We call her Bat Pig sometimes. Her ear is like a bat and she snores like a pig.
She was born and raised in New York City, New Jersey. You know, lots of people, lots of concrete, not many trees. So coming to the Pacific Northwest has been a little bit of a learning curve for her. We have to teach her what it's like to be an outdoor dog. But otherwise, inside the tiny home, she feels very much at home. And now we're back in the living room. This couch is an awesome find. I actually purchased it off of somebody on Facebook Marketplace in Canada because they have access to IKEA stuff that we don't in the States. But the reason why it's an awesome find is because it's multifunctional. It turns into a queen size bed, and this is where we house our guests. It also has storage inside, but more importantly, there's this little bump out situation happening in the back that you can't see, but it was the exact dimension of the wheel well that we have. So it fits up nice and snug against the wall without losing any space. Because of that, I'm able to use it as a little office nook here. So we just bought a little IKEA table and put my monitor and my laptop here, and I get to answer emails. Since our Shaye doubles as our projector screen, we can just hang out here and watch our projector. What's also awesome is that there's so much natural light that fills the space. No matter where you sit in the house, you get natural light because we installed 13 windows in this tiny house. The most important thing about building this tiny house was looking for storage everywhere. So I've already mentioned the couch storage, but our stairs are a unique design because they also double as storage. Every single one of these open to maximize our storage. Some people may recognize this design. We were inspired by Shaye's Hazel house. She's a builder out in New Zealand, but we ended up changing a lot of the build to accommodate our needs, like these stairs. These are called witch stairs, so they look a little funky, but they are exactly measured to the dimensions that we have. Shaye's design is a little bit wider because in New Zealand they have those type of trailers, as opposed to here in the States we were limited on an 8.5 foot trailer, so that chopped our stairs in half and forced us to work with this. But so far we're loving it. Shaye's design in her Hazel home is famous for the tiny house hallway, which we also have here, We've just switched it up a bit to make it feel more us. What we loved about having a hallway is that you are forced, like Shaye says, to take a journey to each room on opposite ends of the house, making you feel like you're in a bigger space. Another customization that we did was to keep the entire hallway from end to end to be completely full height. And over here we have our entryway, which kind of acts like our mini mudroom, where we kick off our shoes, have extra shoe storage. But what's really interesting is that the dimension fit perfectly for this space, and I found it on TikTok Shop. Over here we have even more catch-all storage where we just throw things like sunglasses, keys, hats. And this is the way to the bathroom. In our bathroom, we have this dropped ceiling because this is where our office is. So again, our office is full standing height, and the way we're able to do that is by dropping the ceiling here. But we thought this was totally fine because all we're doing is sitting on a toilet, so you don't really hit your head. We ended up DIYing most of the furniture that you see in here. This is not actually a bathroom vanity. We waterproofed it and changed the top of it and created this whole look. Storage, again, very important, especially in a bathroom. So there is storage everywhere you can find. So we have a ton of stuff underneath the sink, a medicine cabinet that is very important that houses all of my makeup and beauty products. Yeah. And over here we have our shower. It's a full-size standard shower. Took me 3 days to micro cement the shower, again, to make sure that everything is super waterproof in the bathroom. And on this side of the bathroom, directly in front of the toilet, is our future laundry room. So right now we just have a little storage closet unit that fit perfectly into this nook, but the plan is to put a laundry unit in there. Behind the future laundry unit is kind of the brain of the house. That's what lets this entire home be automated. And up our stairs, we have both of our rooms, our main bedroom and our office. And right before our bedroom, we have our Muxarabi wall, which we had custom made just so we can create this storage design. We travel often, and we needed a place to put all of our large suitcases. So we measured out all of our suitcases, packed them up tight, and figured out the dimensions for this awesome wall. And you access all of our storage from right here. The future is to create an extension of this wall. So this will be a door that looks exactly like the Muxarabi wall. And the reason why, we needed to have ventilation. So that's why we wanted a wall that had holes in them, but still looked really nice. And back here in our bedroom, we're directly above our kitchen. And you can stand full height because of that drop ceiling. I'm 5'10", and I clear it with no problem. The original idea was to have wall-to-wall closets, but we couldn't make that happen because of our vent system. And this was a very important compromise because the air quality in tiny homes usually is a little stuffy and sometimes have some moisture issues. So to prevent that, we went all out and installed this really cool HRV, which allows for airflow, and it also keeps the heat trapped into your space. So on a really cold winter day, we don't lose any of the heat. It's an alternating system, so one pushes air out while the other one brings air in. And the other one is located on the further end of the house, which is why the ventilation with the doors were really important. Since we had the missing closet I needed to find something to put here that still acted like storage. So another TikTok shop find was this mirror. It rotates 360 degrees. So I'm able to store all of my hats, scarves, and fun little purses. The reason why I'm able to stand full height here is because our ceiling is slanted. So the further I go this way, we start getting into some problems here. So we made sure to keep this area at the foot of our bed accessible, so that way I can sit down and find my clothes this way, as well as get ready in a more comfortable way. These are 2 IKEA closets that I purchased and put together. We customized them a lot so they can fit just right from corner to corner. The most important thing about my bedroom is that I wanted it to feel very relaxing. So you see minimal colors here, and that's on purpose. We also have 2 blackout shades, so that way we can create a very dark space for optimal sleep. We're still missing 1 shade, and that's the shade to our skylight. This is coming soon, and then we'll really have a nice dark room. We're able to fit a queen size bed in here and can even go up to a king, but we kept it to a queen so that way we don't lose this space right here. Another way we optimize our sleep is by having an 8 sleep bed, which is a smart bed that helps keep you cool. It also heats up whenever it's a really chilly day, and it's been awesome.
This is my office. We specifically built it this way to be standing height. I'm 5'11", so it allows me to walk from here to the bedroom. It acts as multiple usage. We actually used it for entertainment, watching this TV while laying back here, or while me working on these nice chairs here that fit on the cushions. These are backjack chairs from the 1970s. It is cool. We can put them away if you're not using them, in a nice folding concept, or me and Michelle could actually sit side by side. This is actually kids' furniture. It's Nugget. It's really cozy with these back rests. You can move them anywhere you want, and just allows you to actually put your back or your head while watching TV. We did add the skylight here. This skylight is special. It acts for multiple purposes. Actually a mandatory emergency exit for the house on the 2nd floor, just in case anything happened. This is a 90-degree skylight that opens up by Velux. It allows us to go on the roof, access the roof for maintenance, or actually hang out on the roof. Definitely, we did this build as a part-time. I'm working a lot, she's working, her dad is helping with the build, so it was part-time. I would say about 1.5 years of build. The biggest challenge would be learning every aspect of either metal siding, wood, electric, and then HVAC. So every single week or every month, I'm learning a new thing.
Sal had actually never met my dad prior to this project, so not only did they meet each other for the first time, they just got to work with one another. So that was a really interesting relationship builder right there.
We created a nice, very good relationship, me and him and his whole family, really, of learning.
He's been awesome. I would say he is our lead contractor. So he was very much involved in the places that we just didn't have the skill set for. So framing, for example, he actually helped us with the material purchases, where he just said, you're gonna need X, Y, and Z. And we're like, oh my goodness, thank goodness for you. And then he, as a contractor, was also an electrician and has his license for all of the legal stuff that takes place in being an electrician. So he helped with that as well. And then taught him all of the skills that he knows. Having a connection with my dad and my siblings has been the cherry on top of all of this.
His wife as well, she's been amazing with the support. They've been giving us the property and just the mental and the emotional support that they've been giving us is priceless.
Our stepmom is awesome. It's still not done, so there's no final price. But The roundabout price is somewhere between $80,000 to $100,000. $80,000 is what we paid for the materials. So that does not include labor because we all did it ourselves. The missing piece where it could have been, you know, $20,000 here and there were a lot of things that were luckily gifted to us. We have the amazing privilege of having employers that were very interested in being part of this build. So Solemn's company, for example, was able to give a nice little employee discount on some of the really cool behind the scenes smart home automation stuff. The biggest piece of that budget, and I say this to anybody thinking about building a tiny house, is 30% of your entire build is gonna go straight to doors and windows. That was pretty challenging, and that was a little bit of a sticker shock for us, that we needed to come up with a really big chunk of change when we were ready to purchase our doors and windows. What was really fun about building this space is the design element. I love interior design. So thinking through how to create space without actually having it was super fun for me. So creating little optical illusions and kind of tricking your mind to find space in places they don't exist. One thing that I learned in just the whole entire world of design is that your brain is actually really wanting cozy small spaces. Seeing it come to life, that was really just like the most amazing thing. I sit here and I'm still in shock that we built this ourselves.
I agree. We still need floor trims. We just built this hallway railing before you guys got here. So we're still in the process of it, and we love doing it. And especially, like we mentioned, traveling and still building this and having something you own. And I think that was one of the main things, like we wanted to own something and we didn't want that big house. So having this now and finally getting to the last stages was a big step for us in our relationship and in our life.
Thanks for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian, and this is our DIY tiny house on our homestead in Oregon.
Looking for more tiny inspiration? Watch these videos. But if you're looking for something specific, visit our channel homepage to browse tiny homes by category.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Hope to see you soon.